What's going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the ABJ Podcast, episode 43. Mary Beth Elizabeth. I'm excited for this one. We'll bring her in a minute. Let's get some housekeeping stuff out of the way real quick. Welcome to our sponsors of the ABJ Podcast, Elevation 1470. Elevation 1470 is a reinventing style, bringing traditional and nostalgic apparel to the Blackwell and surrounding areas in Schuylkill County. They pride themselves on hometown heritage and community. Elevation 1470 is where the trail begins. You can find them at www.elevation1470.com for the latest in traditional nostalgic styles in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania. And I just realized I'm not wearing the hat I just got. I took pictures in it, but I promise I will wear it. I got a beanie, but it's getting, of course, the day I buy a beanie, it gets really, really warm out. Also, I wanted to quick read off. We got 2 comments on an episode. So if you guys are on Spotify, there is a little tab that you can click where it says, what do you think about the episode? And you can leave little feedback. I wish they alerted me when I get them, because I have to go back and check every episode. So if you left one and I didn't see it, please reach out and tell me so I know to read it. But for Brad's episode, we got 2 of them. So from Scott, said hearing what Brad went through was an amazing story. Loved hearing everything he had to say. Yeah, Brad's a really good dude. And then Brad himself commented and said, had a blast chatting it up with ABJ. Hope you all enjoyed. So yeah, 2 comments there, means a lot. So if you guys want to leave some feedback on episodes over on Spotify, leave that 5-star review, as well as leave a little feedback in the comment section, and it means a lot. YouTube is kicking off really well, getting close to 800 plays over on the audio side. I think we're going into the month of this month with 16 subscribers ahead. So if maybe we can start hitting that 100 a month again, I doubt it, but if it happens, we got a little bit of a jump start. Links below for myself, my guest, as well as ABJ merchandise, so you can grab some new stuff. I know there's a few new logos out there. If you're interested, go grab them. If you do buy any merchandise, please take a picture in said merchandise and send it to me so we can get that up on the social medias, and thank you guys. But a lot of people in the chat, thank you guys for hanging out. Make sure you hit that share button, let people know you're here. And without further ado, let's bring in my guest, Mary Beth. What's going on?
Hi.
Oh, I love
Hello.
It's like a talk show. You got the black mug and everything.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Was that Always Sunny?
Yes, it is actually.
I love that.
Oh, my voice.
I have a Brewfest glass.
See, I got tea because I'm recovering from like a terrible just cold. So my voice is like, but we're gonna do it. We'll get through it. All right.
We will make it through.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It's very cool to be on here. You know, everyone loves ABJ. Dudes love ABJ. Even the ladies love ABJ.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes. Well, listen, not only does everyone love ABJ, but you are the queen. At least I say it every single time on commentary. You are the queen of independent wrestling. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, you just managed Tommy Vex, but you do make everyone around you better. They rise to the top of divisions they're in. They get title opportunities. It's not your fault they're not winning them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can only do
that
so
just
much,
comes
Mary.
down to their own personal skill. I can only guide them so far.
Exactly. I feel you're one of the top managers in professional wrestling. It's just unfortunate. It's just Tommy. You know what I mean? Tommy's got to do his end now. You know.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I love. So in commentary, I pull a lot from like old school Bobby Heenan and old school like stuff like that. So Bobby was a heel, but he also like he wasn't just like a lot of commentary people, and I'm not like saying it's a bad thing. Everyone has their own style, but I feel a lot of people pick the heel role and then they love every heel that comes out and they hate every babyface. I like to mix it up. Like if there's a heel stable, I'll find one person in the stable I love and I say the rest are trash. Like I don't know, I think it's just fun dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're a heel, you could do whatever you want.
Yeah, so that's kind of my bit with you guys is I hate Tommy, but I love you.
Exactly. There you go. And I feel like that's how it really is with most everyone.
Yes. I love Tommy though in real life. He's amazing. But he's
all right. He's
amazing.
I don't even think he's listening right now.
The day has finally come that we get to see Mary sit down with ABJ. I love that. Oh, and Pete in the chat says, "Leave Tommy alone."
Well,
Pete, we
Tommy
need to
has.
update that profile picture. Who is that guy? That's
Look
an
at
old school picture of
that.
Pete. Crazy.
Hi, Pete.
But let's dial it back real quick. When did you fall in love with the world and the industry of professional wrestling?
So I had a bit. I'm a bit of a late bloomer. I kind of had a little more conservative upbringing, and so I didn't really find wrestling. I didn't really know wrestling was a thing until I was in college. Well, kind of my senior year of high school, because I started dating a guy, an ex, who loved wrestling, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll watch this to like bond, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went away to college and I was like all by myself and going through it in college. You know, your first year in college is probably trash. I wasn't a partier, so I didn't have anything to do on weekends. So I'm like, let me see what this wrestling that he likes is all about. I started watching it and something like just like clicked because I have a theater background. I've done theater my whole life. I've been into fitness my whole life and like working out, staying active and sports and what have you. Later, just mainly theater in life. But and then I saw this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just extreme like stage combat. It's like a soap opera where they're squaring up and I loved everything about it. I just instantly was drawn to it, and I was spending all of my nights and weekends in college watching wrestling instead of going out and making friends.
It's the coolest thing you could have done.
And I just started like binging. WWE Network. That's all I was doing, watching like everything. Like, oh my God, like how did I not know about this? Like, I mean, I guess I kind of knew about it, but like just knew it was like fighting. I didn't
Like
realize
everybody
what.
knows Hulk Hogan, but you don't know the storylines. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what wrestling is. I know it's dudes throwing each other around, but like I didn't know anything else about it. But college, just those lonely nights in my dorm room, and wrestling was what was there for me, and I just loved it, and yeah.
So I don't know what you went to college for, but when I met you, you used to be a doctor.
Scientist.
A scientist.
That I went to school for biology. So.
There it is. Yeah. So that's where I first seen you on the scene as you were a manager or valet. I would say more of a manager because like valets, like I consider like Miss Elizabeth a valet where she was just out there. She added to the story with facial expressions, but that was about it. But like she didn't really get involved. Like a manager is someone who's gonna mix it up and do some stuff. So I put you in the manager category. I don't know how you see that, but
that's how I see it too.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I've always seen it. Like I feel like the manager is someone who's like getting very like hands-on, very actively involved in it, while a valet still plays like a great role and can add to it by reacting and being that like that draw to like really get that like crowd behind a group sometimes, you know.
Mhm.
Sometimes like just having a like lady or like somebody like big and tough in a stable to just stand around, not that just like it's fun, it's great.
Yeah, but I think what sets you apart, and even from the first day I seen you in the role till where you are now, is you're someone who, if you watch you closely, you're doing stuff that when nobody else is catching, but you're still like there's never an off switch. As soon as you hit the curtain, you are in it the entire time. Like the facial expressions, the things you're yelling. Like I love when the roving cams are turned up just a hair, not heavy, because I think sometimes when they mix audio, sometimes they put all the roving cams at 100 and then hard cams at 100 and then commentaries at 100 and everything smashes together. But if the levels are set properly, which I love doing at a wrestling show, a good manager with good audio you can hear what you're saying, and it's super entertaining.
Oh yeah, y'all have probably heard some stuff if you turn that up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because I love talking smack to the crowd. That like fuels me. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have you ever had a fan? Have you ever had anyone get up like the old school like Jim Cornette or any manager stories where someone in the crowd got a little too invested in what you were doing?
I've definitely had that before. I remember there was an outdoor show and there was a woman holding like this newborn baby and she was laying into me and she was like storming up to me and I'm like, okay. And then
Holding the
another
baby?
show. Yeah, holding the newborn baby.
You should have said the baby was ugly.
And I pull that one out sometimes, but only if the baby's actually ugly, okay? If it's a cute baby, I'm not gonna lie. But and there was another time that there was almost a confrontation in the parking lot because I was outside and I had apparently said something that was like misinterpreted, I guess. And the woman was very, very upset and almost squared up with me. She started coming at me and her friends had to hold her. And
Do you remember what you said? Or what she thought what you thought you said?
It's kind of a long story, but what did I say? I said something. So this woman talks so much smack. I remember it clearly. This woman talks so much smack. And so I love talking smack back to her. And she was saying something about her son. My son wants to take you on a date. My son wants to take you on a date. And I looked at her, I looked at her son, and I said, "That's your son? I can tell." And I just walked away. She took that personally because apparently her son has a disability. And I did not know that.
Yeah.
And that struck a chord with her. But after her friends held her back, one of her friends came up to me, explained the situation, and I was like,
yeah, like you're in character. You're supposed to like just say something like, I don't know. If
like,
that was the 70s, you'd have been praised for it.
I mean, oh man. And so I had exactly, like I had such like mixed feelings. And so I apologized to the woman for the misunderstanding, for all of that. And I said, but if you talk smack, I'm gonna give it right back to you.
Yeah, that's your job.
You involved your son in this, and so I thought that meant I could involve him too. And yeah, so she was coming at me, and she ended up smashing cake in my face.
Did you eat it? Or you like?
It wasn't bad. Yeah, there was like a whole bunch of extra cupcakes too after that, and I actually took they actually gave them to me and said you can have them.
What state was this in?
Pennsylvania.
It was in PA.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
It was like a little bit towards like the Lancaster area.
Okay. That's crazy. I didn't know you were actually fit. That honestly though, as a manager, you have to have at least a couple though. You have to have the story where you're almost or actually physically assaulted. That's like a badge of honor, right?
Exactly. That's just what I was gonna say. Like that means I'm doing a good job. That means I'm doing it right. That means I'm convincing. Well, not even convincing, but that means I'm just a damn good heel, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like as long as you don't actually hurt me, and like just the threat of it is enough to like be exciting.
Yeah. Question in the chat already. Okay, but did her son get that date?
He invited me to his I think it's either his birthday or graduation.
Did you go?
He gave me a card. No, it's like still upcoming. I can't remember what weekend it is, but
you should go. But you should definitely say to the mother, "I can eat my own cake this time. I don't need you to force feed it to me."
That's so good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We've kind of like rekindled that, and I'm now face at that company, so now it's like all happy go lucky, like me face.
You're the face that runs the place. So when you who were the people that when you started watching you gravitated toward immediately, like when you watched on TV, like wrestlers or even managers or valets?
So I gotta be honest, and everyone laughs at this. Everyone laughs at it. But when I started watching wrestling, this was like 2015, Stardust.
There it is.
I loved Stardust.
What about like, Stardust brought you in?
Since I'm so into theater, I loved like his costumes, his like out there like character work and personality, and how he took everything that like creative was giving to him and made it work. You know, I just loved his storylines too. They were fun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like the first one that just like stood out to me, and I was like, oh, and his entrance song, a banger.
I feel the
Uh,
same way about Gold Dust because when Gold Dust first came out, like growing up, I never got into I was never a Hulkamaniac. I
mhm.
never was a Warrior guy. Like, give me Macho Man, give me Rowdy Piper, give me Mr. Perfect. Like, I loved characters, over the top
Yes.
characters.
Yes.
And then more the Attitude Era. I Mankind. I loved
Mhm.
Mankind. I loved Gold Dust. Like, I just love a good gimmick.
Exact 100% same. And so Stardust, that was my first ever wrestling t-shirt is a Stardust t-shirt. Face the Strange right across the back. But
Speaking of, what do you got going on here today? Are you wearing a Shrek t-shirt?
yes.
Where did you find this?
Um, I think like Wish or something. One of those like random websites that have the most obscenely like absurd things.
So I got ordered a t-shirt on Wish, and it's Jesus like like at the gates, like overlooking like down, and it's
Uh-huh.
just Macho Man coming down hitting him with an elbow drop. But when they ordered it in extra large, it was like extra large but not Tony extra large, so I can never wear it.
So
I think
it's like a regular person and
yeah, it's like a
like
Barbie doll extra large.
medium.
I had so
Barbie.
I end up giving it away. But here's a great idea for everybody out there listening. You have to order it. You have to start this way late because you can't do late gifts with this. But Christmas time, get a group of your friends and do like a Secret Santa, right? But like plan this way ahead because Wish takes forever to ship. But everyone do Secret Santa gifts. But the rule is like set a limit of like $20-$30. But every gift has to come from Wish
That is incredible.
because you have no idea what you're gonna get.
No, it could be. I've seen some crazy-ish on Wish.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you might order a t-shirt, but it may not be the t-shirt you want or the material, or you think you ordered something, it's this big and it's this
Oh,
big.
the
Yeah.
material of the shirt is the weirdest thing ever. It's like almost like some
Like
athletic,
a
like
mesh.
sweat wicking material.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know
The
how to
eyes on
describe
the
it.
other shoulder crack me up on this. Yeah. Like lift your arm up. Those yeah, it's amazing. So transitioning from a fan, and then how did you end up becoming into the business and stuff like that? Like how did you transition from the fan to the to being involved?
So, it really was just kind of like same ex was planning. He somehow got like connected with some training place in Maryland, and he was planning on doing it. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds really cool. Um, I think I want to do this too. I think I could do this." Uh, theater. I work out. I feel pretty athletic. I'm like, might as well give it a go. We ended up breaking up, but he still went to training and I still did anyway too. And I mean, it was fine, but it was just kind of like hey, this dude says he trains. You wanna you wanna train? And I was like, sure. I I had just like I don't know if it was before I moved back home, but I ended up moving back home from college and started training. I just wanted to like that was like around a time that I was trying to find things like after high school because high school I did theater, I did like a million and a half extracurriculars, and now I had like college. Sure, I worked, but like what else was fun going on? I was doing a little bit of like music directing stuff, but I was like, well, I need something else, and it just was an opportunity to literally just lay down in front of me, and I was like, I'll take that. Let's just do it.
Now, did you want to be a wrestler? Did you know you wanted to go to the manager side of things? Like, where did you want to fall into?
So initially, the goal was wrestler. I kind of transitioned to, well, it's kind of a long story. I manage now because of like chronic health conditions. I found that wrestling a lot is just not conducive for me. Like I can't, um, which I could go into, but
It's up to you,
it's
whatever you're
long.
comfortable with.
So yeah, I found I could train, and but I have chronic migraines, not just like chronic migraines every so often, but like I'm in pain 24/7. I have a constant headache. And unfortunately, like even just like one bump is enough to set a flare up. Since I
I think
always
that
have
constant headache is
pain.
just called Tommy.
Maybe, yeah, that's something my neurologist never suggested.
Has he met Tommy?
Oh man. But so, but I love wrestling. I love training. And that was one of the really good things about training with my trainer Kakoa was he was very like could take it my speed because I would have flare ups sometimes and I would be like so sick that I couldn't train or like maybe I could do a little bit, but if I like went too far, like I would just be out of commission for like the week. I'd be in so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
So we took it like my pace. And so that was awesome. I was able to really start building up my wrestling skill set. And so in the meantime, I started managing because I could at least still be involved while I train slower than most because of my conditions. But then I found that I just really love managing. And since wrestling like hurts, I mean, yeah, it hurts no matter what. But since it's literally debilitating for me, I try to I still want to do matches, so that's why I'll do like the occasional like manager match, But I just loved managing because I could still be involved in all of my favorite aspects of wrestling without necessarily having to put my body through that all the
You're
time.
not filling your bump card up and crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when
Yeah.
you, it's honestly like Bobby Heaton. You're not always in the ring. You're not always active. You're not always taking a bump. But when you do, it means something.
Yes, and that's also like what I want it to be. I want it to mean something. So I won't do it all
A
the
good
time.
heel, the payoff is always when are you getting your comeuppance? Like when are
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And then when it finally happens, everyone explodes. Yeah.
And if you can build that right, especially over like a series of like events, like different months, even at the same company, if you can really build that, it's just the most like explosive pop you could get. I love it. I love building to these big moments.
One of the ones that I watched live and then I went back and I clipped it and I was like editing and stuff. You took a door spot from Kit Raff and you folded. Like that looked like it sucked.
Honestly, like it wasn't as bad as a normal back bump. You'd be surprised.
Really? I guess so the door funny. Just gave out like, nice then, because it looked like your head went like crushed it and everything. Like it looked rough.
Like it wasn't pleasant. It was a freaking door.
Yeah,
a door. You're going through a door, but like just the way I landed, I'm like, that could have been worse.
Yeah. Like it looked as safe as it could be going through a door, but also like you took a really good bump that day. Like it looked really good.
That was a solid moment. I mean, I did go through a door, but
yeah,
still fun.
Now, one of the things that I like, we're very lucky in the Northeast scene to have such good managers. We have, and especially Smashmaster and High Tension. I personally think we have the best on the Northeast coast. Like between you, Dust, Coach, you know what I mean? Like there's no one better. And all three of yours are ones that like when the manager gets involved, everyone fucking loves it. And it's good. You know what I mean? But with that being said, between you and you and Coach have a lot of Smash stories going where you guys back and forth and you have your spots where you square up, and that's cool. But you had a moment late last year, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, where you had a storyline that carried over across multiple promotions and state lines, which in the independent scene is fucking crazy. And if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, there was a storyline where a manager named Big Dust, who is amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Once again, a theater person that jumped into wrestling, knows how to work, knows how to do everything, and just like Mary, and they put together an angle where you guys were going to. You started dating, and then you were going to get married. And it was so compelling because you guys were going on your own dime and on your own money to meet each other in public and film bits and skits and put them online. And it was so captivating that other promotions, like, how do we book that and continue the story in our promotion? How do we get it here? How do we get it there? And that's crazy that it carried. And I mean, that's the magic of the Goons as well, because they've had multiple storylines on the independent. Like, the joke is, oh, they got in the PWI 500. That's bullshit. But it's really not, because there's no one else on the independent scene who are having stories that cross into other promotions. It just doesn't happen.
Like, continuous storylines are honestly, like, they really are hard to find on the independent scene. Just because
for promoters to want and allow like stories to go to other promotions, that's insane.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen.
This was honestly just kind of something that us two groups came together and we were like, let's do something. And we were like, yeah, what about this? And we just took it and ran with it and just started adding ridiculous idea on top of ridiculous idea. Like, it started with just this, like, putting a date, like, with me on the line, and then it, like, turned into this whole thing of, like, falling in love, and then it was, let's get married, and then it was like, instead of actually getting married, let's have him just say it was a prank the whole time. Just ridiculous. We just have fun because we're buddies, you know, like, we're, like, in real life, we're buddies.
It
buddies.
Honestly,
and I hope you think we're buddies, because I think we're buddies. And
but it just goes to show, like, just taking a couple moments to cut a promo, but not just cut a promo like, I'm the big tough guy and I'm gonna beat you up next Saturday at this gym. Like, have fun with it. And if you make fun storylines and it
makes something,
but not only that, is it gets you booked at more places, and then it also gets the people you care about booked at more places, because they're like, how do we bring all of you involved and work here as well? Because that's what promoters want, you know.
Yeah, and, like, you'll see that at, like I said, a lot of indie companies, they won't necessarily have, like, a drawn out storyline. So when you are making a promo, like, make something. Obviously, like, make sure it makes sense and, like, run it by the promoter, but, like, just make something. That's what we did. We just said, hey, we have this idea, and they were like, love it, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you gotta do. And it doesn't have to be, like, this beautiful, crazy idea. It could just be something fun, but it captivates because it's different. Because everyone, like, you see those promos of just, like, especially nowadays, just, like, sitting in a car and saying, I'm gonna beat you up on this date at this time because I'm bad and you're the good guy. So make something of it. Make, like, a little skit out of it. Make a story, and just that's what I love about wrestling, is, like, you can make it whatever you want it to be. It's just this amazing creative outlet. And me loving theater loves the skits. I am all about that. Give me the crazy stories. I will take it. I will run.
Yeah, that's one thing I started to do a little more now, is filming some skits and bits and working with talent a little bit. And it's so much fun to do. Like, I don't understand how wrestlers hate cutting promo. Maybe it sucks doing the solo promo, but, like, I think it's fun. And honestly, and the person I'm kind of battling with a little bit, Ricky, doing them, he's fun to bounce off of. Like, it's like, I don't know, they're really entertaining. I don't know. Did you see the one where he got me in the bathroom at Smash?
Was that no, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, so Ricky finally got a hold of me and dunked my head into a toilet. Well, I mean, you don't see it, but I'm walking in on the phone and I go,
what do you mean? Your head actually wasn't dunked in the toilet?
It was completely dunked in, and he beat me up.
Oh my God.
I can't physically take bumps in front of people. So this was our way of doing it without doing it, because I have to, like, once again, I'm the bad guy here. I have to get my come up, you know what I mean? Like, but I can't physically do it in the ring. But so when I'm walking, I go, I'm right back. I gotta take a shit. And when I open the door, I'm like, yeah, Ricky's an idiot. I'm gonna get away with this forever. And Ricky's on top of the toilet, like on the handicap bars, like Spider-Man, like this, like. And then when I close the door, I hear, ah! But, like,
I love it.
They're just fun to shoot at shows. It's like, I don't know. I wish more people did it.
And it draws people in. I am more likely to watch, like, a promo video like that than just a regular, like, front facing promo.
Yeah,
That's just me.
It's more fun, and when people are invested in it, it like that's what sells a ticket. Because like I've seen promos, I'm like, I want to go to that match because that was really entertaining. I want to see how it plays off in the ring now.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got some people. We got some stuff in the chat. The Merry Universe. That'd be a fun shirt. ABJ, I miss you. What else we got here? I'm a theater kid too, which made me want to get in as a manager, but I'm just super super over with the over the top, and I'm and I'm but a lot of schools aren't just training managers. They are. But yeah, a lot of people, what happens is I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mary, but people go in thinking they want to be a wrestler, and they realize it's hard, or maybe it's not for them, and then they fall into manager or referee or whatever it may be. But if your passion is manager, if your passion is referee, go to a wrestling school and say, this is what I want to do, but how do I get the best of that crap by also learning A, B, and C?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I would say like reach out, even if they don't actively advertise it, I don't doubt that they would turn you away. I think as a manager, it's good to have some in-ring work because, I like to get involved. It's good to know the flow of how, like, you have to understand wrestling to be a manager too, because you have spots. You got to know where you're at. You got to know how to work on the fly. You got to know all this stuff. And to be able to do what the wrestlers are doing too, just puts you one step above. So I think even if you feel like you can't do 100% what all wrestlers do, you don't have to be doing like crazy stuff like superplexes off the top rope and like hurricane ranas and whatever. Like you don't have to, but if you just reach out and like even just say, hey, can I like show up and like watch like training or something, and then meet and talk to them, and like I guarantee there's a way to like fit you in.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at a show over the weekend, and the entire show top to bottom was amazing, and the crowd was super into it, and everybody there was not a bad match on the card, but there was a spot in the beginning where the first couple matches were very crowd involved, and then there was a couple matches where it was more like the work rate spot matches where it was just like craziness, but they kind of forgot there was a crowd there and they didn't play to the crowd. But the crowd enjoyed what they were watching, and they reacted to the high spots, but everything in between was just like spot to spot to spot to spot to spot. No stopping, no selling. Like there was selling, but not to the extent of like, oh my God, and like look at the crowd like I killed him, like anything like that. And then another wrestler came out, Papa Don, and he immediately noticed that like for 3 matches in a row, they didn't partake with the crowd at all. And as soon as he went out, I hate all of you. Boom, the crowd right back into it. Yeah. The crowd wants to be involved. It's like karaoke. Everyone's shy. They want to be involved. They want to yell. They want to get carried away. But they need you. They need the push. You need to give them something to bring them in. And as soon as it happens, you're golden. Your match is over. Like it's gonna be a blast because you stopped and played to the crowd for even if a split second, and they're into it.
Playing to the crowd can save you so many bumps.
Yeah.
I'm being so serious. Like just taking the time to talk to the crowd and tell your story, they'll remember that more than all those like running back and forth, big move. Yep. Like sure, like they'll remember like a really cool move, like every so often, like if there's a really cool move, but if everybody's doing it, like sometimes I see on shows, then that diminishes. But they will remember the person who was yelling in their face, telling them to shut up. Because that got them angry, that got them engaged, and they remember your face for next time because you were right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes for a much easier match when the crowd is involved.
Let's take a quick sidebar from wrestling. I actually have something prepped. I have a little game. I have never done this on the podcast. I mean, we kind of done drafts before, where it's you ever see when the podcasters do drafts and we each we pick a topic and then we pick off the draft.
Okay.
But I think this is a fun, more fun game. We're from the same generation, but remember F, Marry, Kill?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. We're gonna play F, Marry, Kill, and we're gonna play 2 rounds.
Okay.
All right. So I need what you're gonna F, what you're gonna marry, and what you're gonna kill. And I'm not gonna say what the topic is. I'm just gonna say what they are, and you're gonna get it. Are you ready?
Okay.
Here's your first one. F, Marry, Kill. Teenagers, Black Parade. I'm Not Okay. For those who don't know, Mary is a giant My Chemical Romance fan. So what are you gonna marry? What are you gonna F, and what are you gonna kill?
That's really hard.
Oh,
Okay,
wait till the next one.
I'm gonna kill I'm Not Okay because I have overplayed that song a million times in my youth. So I'm pretty sick of it at this point.
All right.
I'll marry Black Parade because it's just a classic that has been there for me my whole life. Very like stable relationship, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll F Teenagers because that song gets me hype, and you know. Yeah.
I don't know why no one's using that as an entrance music. It has such a good guitar riff. Yeah.
I love Teenagers. I get real hyped to that song. Like if I was at a show and like some random opener decided to cover that, and I lost my mind because I wasn't expecting it. I'm like, what? My Chemical Romance out of nowhere? And I was like the only one like losing my freaking mind.
I remember there's 2 albums that I showed my dad. Because obviously like my dad's very open-minded with music, but like it was tough to get him involved in like my punk emo stuff. And there's 2 albums that that's gonna be taken out of context. What? Oh, you said you'd F Teenagers. Yeah, that's getting clipped.
ABJ, this is your fault.
We're canceled. I presented it. You picked it. I'm just. That's amazing. But yeah, I told my dad these 2. I showed my dad these 2 albums, and I said both these albums are like concept albums. He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "There's a bigger story than just the music. Like it's a continuation. There's a theme to it. Like, and the 2 albums that I showed him was the Black Parade, and when Green Day came out with American Idiot. And he both those albums. He was like, these are really really good." Like he enjoyed both those albums, and like there are 2 albums that I always tell people, like if you're not into that genre, just listen to them. But they're an album you have to listen to front to back. There's a story the whole way through.
Yes, that is one of the reasons why I love My Chemical Romance so much, is because stemming back to theater, it's like a story. You can listen to every song, and it's like a whole movie in your head from start to finish, and it just continues on to each other and builds upon each other. What was that?
Coheed and Cambria. Are you a fan of those?
I've heard of them.
So their whole story, like their albums continue to one thing, and from what I've been told, they have like a graphic novel and comic book based on it, but every album is a story of this couple, and it's like their relationship as it continues.
Wow. Yeah. I love albums like that. I love them so much.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Oh god. Let's hope I don't cancel myself this time.
Yeah, Helena.
Okay.
I Don't Love You.
Okay.
Nah.
Again, okay, so I'll marry Helena. Again, that's another like it's been there for me.
That's everyone's introduction to My Chem.
Yeah, you know, I Don't Love You and Nah. I don't know. I'll kill I Don't Love You. Not for some reason that's never been just on the top of my list.
I was torn between I Don't Love You and Mama. I was gonna put Mama.
Oh, okay. If you put Mama in, that would have been it right there. I would have married that one and F'd that one and killed the rest because that's like top tier. Yeah, but I guess that leaves what Nana for F. You know, it's a banging song, I'd say.
It is. So what other emo bands are you a big fan of? What's in the playlist?
See, I say if Ian Bush was watching this right now, he would yell at me because he's like,
he always calls you goth, and I said there's 2 different things.
Goth, and because he says my music isn't real emo, and because he's one of those like niche emo fans. So pardon me. My like big emo bands, like if we're like grouping it into like, so My Chemical Romance, obviously. Ooh. Let's see. I used to be big into Panic, not so much anymore. But
his intro to My Chemical Romance was "Ghost of You." That's a good song too.
Wow, the music video, amazing. What was I saying, Anthony?
Oh, Panic at the Disco.
Yeah. I saw them like 4 times, and so I'm like, I'm tired of them now. Fallout Boy.
I seen them live. That was really good.
I've seen them also like 4
I seen them, Green Day, and Weezer.
I've seen Weezer and Green Day. I saw Green Day for the first time this past summer at Firefly.
Yeah, Weezer's so good.
Weezer, I saw them a few years ago. They were awesome. They were so good.
You know they have a wrestling lyric?
What is it? Because I feel like I remember it.
El Scrancho, he says, watching a leg press New Jack through a press table.
Okay, yeah.
Listening to JoJo saying my heart, and then my heart fell all in love all over again or something like that. But yeah, New Jack is in a song. Like
New Jack.
Yeah.
Man. Does Blink count?
I would say they're pop punk, but I love Blink-182. That's the first band where I was like, this is like my 2 first bands when I went from my dad's music to my own. It was Blink and Linkin Park.
Linkin Park.
I loved Linkin Park. I loved hip hop. Yeah. And I was supposed to see they did 2 shows together. They were going to do 1 show in New York and they were going to do 1 show in Hershey. And it was called Blinkin' Park. That was the name of it. That was a 2-show tour.
That's amazing.
I had tickets. I had them for a year in advance. The show was on a Friday. Tuesday, Chester takes his life. I was devastated.
Man.
Yeah.
Rip Chester. Yeah, oh man. But I've seen Blink this summer again.
I've seen them once. But I'd like to see them again. And you're seeing like Blink back. Like this is.
Yes, I saw Blink before. They toured with My Chemical Romance back in like 2011. I was literally in like 7th or 8th grade in this pit of all college kids with My Chem and Blink. Tom was still in the band at that point. Then I saw them when they had Matt Skiba joined, and they toured with, I think, A Day to Remember. That was pretty cool. And now that Tom's back.
Yeah, man, it's crazy how motivated they are now. I actually found out like later on that they weren't ever supposed to be a band. Like that was a project. Like they all just got together. They were going to do a project album, and that was it. And then it just picked up, and they just kept going. And that's why they always did like Boxcar Racer and My Angels and Airwaves, because they always just like, we want to make more music and then have different projects. Like Plus 44, My Heart Starts Beating.
Oh my gosh, yes! Oh, you just like reopened some memories.
That would be my intro music.
Be there, your heart stops beating.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that song.
Love that song. And I Feel So by Boxcar Racer. I love that song too. Aloha from WrestleMania, connecting people through wrestling, hanging out in the chat. So here's a fun thing. You ever see, when you watch wrestling, do you ever see that yellow frame that people hold up in the crowd? It looks like a picture frame and it's bright yellow and it has red writing.
Yeah.
That's him. He goes to a whole bunch of shows all over the country, and his signs always get on TV. He has one that says connecting people through wrestling, and then the other side says connecting people through reggae. Really cool, dude.
That's so cool.
Oh, he's in LA right now at the Superstore, he's saying. But yeah, really, really cool guy and huge wrestling fan.
That's so cool.
I'm in the majority, but I can only enjoy Blink when Mark is on vocals. I love Mark's vocals, but I also like Tom's, and I understand how people can hate Tom's vocals, but
it's a unique taste.
Yeah.
I like unique vocals, though. That's why I was drawn to like Queen, like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Ozzy can't even speak, but when he sings, it comes out.
I've seen Ozzy. I have seen Ozzy. I swear, I was in like middle or elementary school. My mom, huge, like is the reason why I'm into like music like this. She was gonna go see Ozzy and had another ticket to bring like a friend, but she was like, "You want to come?" I was like, "Yeah." So here I am, like I don't know. I must have been like 11 or 12 in like my little like colored skinny jeans.
And
like the youngest person there.
Like the devil now. I think that's
Oh my gosh. I was like 11, and like the intro screens that like Ozzy was doing, I don't, like before the show starts, they sometimes have like little clips and stuff, like his big build up. Like I don't know why, but he was doing like movie spoofs, and he did one with Avatar, like the big blue one. Blue people. I don't know. I've never seen Avatar, but I just remember
Don't waste your time.
a massive blue schlong. Ozzy was like this, like supposed to be like one of the avatars and just because I guess that's a joke because they're like massive people or
Yeah.
whatever. And here I am, 11, like out with my mom, and I'm like, she's like, she like covers my eyes, and I'm like, oh.
So the band I've seen more than any other band, and I don't know how it always happens, but they're one of my favorites. I love Steel Panther. Have you ever seen Steel Panther live?
I've never seen Steel Panther live.
Have you ever heard of Steel Panther?
Yes, I've heard of Steel Panther.
They are such a good time live.
I think they played
in Philly. My buddies are on tour with them right now. They're the opening band for Steel. They've done it twice now.
That's pretty sick.
They're called Crowbot, but they're on tour with them right now. They were on Jericho's cruise, and then maybe 2 or 3 shows ago, Jericho showed up at the show and got on stage with both of them and performed.
That's so cool.
I was like, you fucking hung out with Jericho? They know I'm like giant wrestling fans. They're like, what the fuck? Man.
Yeah. That is really cool.
Yeah. So besides pro wrestling and music and emo, what else are you into? What are some things that help you pass the time?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, music. That is a huge part of my life. I've got my keyboard, I've got my organ, I've got like guitars, I've got everything. Love music, but sorry, I'm like sick and I'm like,
it's okay, you're good.
I love animals. That's why I studied biology. Like I've loved animals my whole life. If I wasn't currently pursuing wrestling as hard as I am right now, I would probably have I would want to be a animal keeper of sorts at like a zoo or aquarium, because I've done that. I did that in the past. I worked helping train some animals at the National Aquarium. It was so cool.
What'd you work with?
I worked with like a whole bunch of different animals, but like the ones where we would go out and do the little like talks and do little like enrichment activities for guests to watch. So stuff from macaws to tortoises to skinks to like boa constrictors.
Can't do snakes.
I couldn't do snakes until I started working there, and then you very quickly learn how to handle stuff like that, and then
there's no like warning to when they're gonna like do anything.
That's the thing. It's a lot of training to understand their signs and to understand how to like approach them so that way they don't freak out. We had a whole system, and I'll have to like see if I can find a picture, because there's pictures of me with the boa constrictor wrapped around my waist, me holding them, because that's how we would hold them for presentations. He would just hang out around my waist, and they weren't even constricting. I had to like hold these heavy ass snakes up because they were lazy. They think we're just a warm tree. Yep. They're like, okay, I'll just hang out here because I know you're not going to hurt me, and I'm fed and taken care of, so I don't really care.
I did a beer podcast with a guy, and
that's something else I like.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. He lived up in New York, and his job was like a reptile guy, and he would take like he would do schools of like, he had tortoises, he had tons of snakes and lizards, and we went and he had a snake that he brought out, and it took like 3 of them to bring the snake outside. That's how long it was. If you would have laid me head to toe and cloned me, it would have taken 4 of me to fill this snake. It was fucking huge. It was the only snake I've ever touched. And they're like, are you going to touch it? I said, yeah. And they're like, oh, you have the guts. I'm like, he's a mile long. If I touch his tail, he's not going to get around quick enough to get me. You know what I mean? Exactly. And he was a big fat boy, but he had anacondas. He had all these different pythons. He had snakes that if it bit you, it was lights out. You were dead. Yeah, it was really, really cool. But that's the closest I ever got to snakes. But I'm not a huge snake person. But one animal I would like to like just chill with for a day. One of them is a baby version, because I think they're just, if I can just keep that animal in a small baby version and have it as a pet, I would. It'd be a bear. Like bear cubs are adorable.
Oh my gosh.
Like you just wrestle them, you know what I mean? Like
just nuzzle in them.
Yeah, like they'll fight you. They're really cool.
Till they get big and just paw your face off. Penguins? Oh my gosh. I agree. Especially like baby penguins, when they're all like fuzzy and fluffy. Yeah. They are really cute.
I taught Chase, Mary, Riley's kid. I waddle like a penguin at him, and he waddles back at me.
That is wholesome content right there.
Yeah. Every time I see him, I do penguin and I do crab, and I go, and then he does it back.
That's so
And
cute.
he crunches his shoulders up. Oh, he's
so
the
cute.
best.
Oh my gosh, he's the cutest little thing.
Yeah.
Another animal that would be cool to have, a capybara.
What the hell's that?
ABJ. You don't know what a capybara is?
I know.
It is the world's largest rodent.
Oh, okay.
It's
like when you go to the fair and they say we're the biggest rat, and it's just one of those.
Yes, yeah. Literally, yes. But they're so cool. They just have like other animals like pay no mind to them. Like
I just wish we had like science. I wish scientists can figure out a way to take animals, but they never leave the like adolescent phase where they just stay that tiny phase forever. Yeah, they just stay babies forever.
Yeah, they tried that with dogs, and then you have like some crazy ass breeds out there nowadays, like these miniature labradoodles and all these other crazy dogs.
Yeah, if you can just like give me a tiger, but it never gets the size of like a small dog forever.
That's why I love caimans, because crocodiles, I love crocodiles and alligators. Caimans
stay small.
They're like little baby guys. Yeah, they stay small, but they're feisty.
We have a question in the chat. Who is Mary's favorite TNA knockout from the last, I guess, the last generations, and what did she think of Velvet Sky?
I love Mickie James.
Yeah.
She's been doing a lot in TNA, and I just absolutely love her work. And I just saw that she's announced for a show that I'm on upcoming
in Maryland.
With MCW. So I am really excited for that because I've never worked a show with her, nor I haven't honestly I haven't kept up with TNA a lot recently.
And I need to start because we have like 2 friends in TNA right, like Ace, Gia, and
oh my gosh,
and Masha are all in TNA right now.
Yeah. So I'll see like clips on Twitter from like what people retweet and what like Masha will post and what have you. But I dig Velvet Sky. I love her work and I love her look. I love her hair. I love when she has those like chunky, like blonde, like highlight type things that are like so like 2000s. I love it. Like her.
You know who I just met from TNA over the weekend, and she's the coolest fucking person ever. No, a couple weekends ago. Su Young. She's awesome. She's so cool.
I've heard. I know a lot of people that have worked closely with her and have said very similar things, that she is just so cool.
Are you familiar with this promotion?
Capital Championship Wrestling.
I think that's
the one with 1CW.
Yeah, they're working with 1CW, and it's an all women's promotion.
Yes.
You just see the people they bring in there. It's fucking stacked.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I met Su Young, because she was with the person who was with that promotion, and I was like, yo, I might take her trip out there one weekend and see a show, because they have a lot of really cool people out there.
They do. They really do. And they got.
I might if I'm not booked that weekend, that Mickie James at that show, I might be. You might see ABJ in the crowd.
Oh, it's gonna be a huge shindig. I think it's in July. I don't know. You'll see it all over my Facebook. I'm sure.
Mickey's very high. I think Mickey's one of the best female wrestlers to ever do it.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
Yeah, she was way ahead of her time, and she doesn't get the respect she deserves. But and then the last thing we'll get into, I guess, like we'll say, like your shoot job is you like your beer. You're a big beer drinker.
I'm a big beer drinker.
What's your style?
What's my style? I right now am really into sours.
See, I hit sours really heavily when they first were hot, and now I can't really drink them as much anymore. It's just heartburn. Like I literally had heartburn just saying sours. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sours definitely flared up for me, but my gosh, they're my favorite. They're my
what brewery do you like their sours?
You know, I've just been trying a whole bunch. I don't have any one like sour that I don't buy beer right now, considering I work at a brewery and get all of my beer for free. So I
Listen,
never buy
anytime we're booked in
beer.
the same show, if you ever bring beer to a show, I won't be upset by it. You know what I mean?
You know, I should have remembered that because honestly, I get, not to brag, but I get a crap ton of free beer for my job. And Tommy
Have you
doesn't
ever came
drink.
across the Mountain Dew ones again yet? I can't. I've never seen them.
I've got some.
Bring them to
I can bring
Smash.
some.
Bring them to the next Smash show. I'm gonna be all hyped up on Mountain Dew.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't had them yet.
yeah.
Bro, bring them
Gotta
to the
try 'em.
show and we'll
I'll bring
record
'em.
a beer review. Let's do a beer review because I want to start doing beer review content, but we can cross over and do beer reviews at the show
So
after you're done working, of course.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I have like one of the coolest jobs in the brewing industry. I work in sensory, which means I get to literally help people taste the beer and say if it's good or bad. And I mean, I do a lot of like the science behind it, like all the data, all the, but it is so cool. So I can help with the describing of the profiles, you know, because I'm all about that. You got to evaluate it properly, you know, the aroma,
Okay.
the flavor, the mouthfeel, you know. We're
Yeah,
gonna
so
do it right, okay?
yes. So I love now that it's cool for breweries to make lagers and pilsners. Like that's my favorite style. And for a while, like it's like we're not making those. We're making sours and stouts and porters and IPAs. And I'm just like,
double, triple IPA.
yeah, quadruple squared to the fifth power IPA. And you're like, all right,
Juicy
just give me a
IPA,
lager.
milkshake
Yeah.
IPA. Yes, if second tier to sours at like a good go-to lager, you know,
One
you
of these
can't go wrong
weekends,
with it.
you got to come out to Deppin's Brewery in Pottsville.
I've wanted to go to his brewery ever since I saw he was opening it.
It's so much fun.
I've been to Yingling. I like Yingling, Guinness. Oh,
Guinness in Maryland's really nice.
Oh yeah, I love it there. I grew up literally right down the street from there, so I would just go there when they first opened.
Do they still make the blonde?
Yes.
You can never
Yes.
find it anywhere.
I love the blonde. That's one of my favorite beers, I would say, because it's like equal parts hoppy, equal parts malty.
Mm-hmm.
It's just perfect. It's beautiful, and it has a Maryland flag on it. And me being from
Of course it
Maryland,
does. They
has
put
to
Maryland
be
flags on
prideful.
everything.
I have to be very prideful. I almost wore my Guinness crab shirt to this, but I decided the Shrek shirt was a little bit more.
Dude, Maryland is the
entertaining.
only state where they put their flag literally on everything. Like I feel like if you hooked up with a chick from Maryland, she probably has Maryland underwear. Like I feel like it's a thing. I think everyone in Maryland has Maryland underwear, and if they don't, they should.
You know, I'm writing that down right now as we speak. I thought you were gonna say what it's true for me. That I have the flag above my bed right now.
You have the Maryland flag above your bed, like, and you salute it every morning. You're just like, I'm proud to be in Maryland.
Tommy jokes that that like Marylanders are very proudful of Maryland, but they all leave Maryland and then are like, Maryland's the best. Maryland's the best. But it's like, why don't you live in Maryland? It's like, but I crave Maryland. I still miss Maryland. Okay.
Yeah. If you can wrestle anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Ooh. Japan. More recently, my best friend right now is currently living in Korea, and she sent me a picture the other day that there was like a flyer for like a wrestling show in Korea, and I was like, wow, like that's so cool, like because I'm planning on visiting her. I didn't really think about that. I was like, I should go travel, and I should travel, and if I like traveling to Korea for like to visit, like I'm like maybe I could see about getting on wrestling shows, and then I thought I'm like I just want to wrestle everywhere. And then I thought about New Japan, and I've been working a lot with like Kevin Kelly recently, and just seeing all New Japan. I haven't really been I haven't really followed New Japan. But more recently, I've been seeing it a lot more and more because of working with Kevin. And
Mm-hmm.
so just seeing all that, I'm like, wow, that would be so cool. And to experience a different, oh, Tommy, get out of here. I don't want to see that. He's so mean to me. But that would be so cool to work, especially in front of an audience that it's a different kind of wrestling environment, a different kind of culture, you know? There are similarities, but it is different. And I feel like expanding your abilities by like working at all these different kinds of fun environments. I just want it. I want it. I want to stay out there for a while, wrestle. Australia. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Australia because animals.
Scott is one of the only human beings who buys ABJ merch, and there's ABJ merch walking around Australia right now.
That's incredible.
Dude, I'm international.
You are an international superstar.
If you can manage someone else in the world, and I will say TV, independent, anybody, who are some people besides Tommy that you would like to take under the Mary Beth wing?
Bold of you to assume that I would even pick him. Are we talking like independent scene, or are we
let's do a mix.
Okay.
TV people are independent people.
I'll start
like, who
with
do you
TV
think you would mesh with, and then who do you think you would bring more to the table with that character?
Okay. So I'll start with what my go-to always is, because I feel like I don't know if you're very familiar with my work with MCW, but I have kind of a darker character there. I manage Clay Jacobs there.
You're part of like a cult family.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I love that kind of dark character. And I love Rhea Ripley.
I mean, who doesn't?
I just think that like because I really enjoy these dark characters, but also a little bit of goofiness. I think that would like mesh perfectly. She doesn't need a manager, but I feel like the current stable that they have going right now, something like that. If I could be involved in it, I feel like we could both just, I would just,
Did you see Mania?
Of course.
Did you see what happened to Finn when he got hit with the ladder?
Oh my gosh. And they had to like glue him up real quick.
No, they what they did is they hit him with numbing gel. They put numbing gel in his, like they literally pulled it aside real quick. So that whole time Edge was walking around pulling weapons and stuff out, they shot him with a needle and stapled his head.
Oh, they stapled it.
Because they had nowhere else, and then they just covered it with Vaseline and sent him back in.
Oh man. I was thinking like maybe they could just like super glue it or something.
Or you ever see like the things they do now? Like if you get shot, they put like this gel in you and it blood clots everything. That's what I thought they used because it stopped bleeding immediately. But no, they hit him with blood clotting shots and then stapled his head mid-match. Crazy.
I wish it wasn't PG rating because that would have been fun.
I don't
know. It was too open. Blood.
It was too open. It was way too open.
Hey, I liked the Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes match when they just went at it and it was just red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but I think if they would have let him go, he would have probably had to go to a hospital. It was like from gushing. Yeah, it was crazy. She's Rhea's from their home state. Yeah.
Tell her I said hello.
Heidi never watches wrestling, but when Rhea's on TV, she just stops and she's just like, "Yep." Rhea's very, very distracting, but she's probably my favorite female on the planet right now. Like female wrestler.
She is incredible.
She's so good. I think her and Charlotte had one of the best female matches in WWE history. That was so good. They beat the shit out of each other.
And that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
I like to see two women just going at it. Like,
you know who does that on the scene? And I don't think she gets enough credit because she is a comedy character, but she can turn it up and work strong style and just beat the hell out of people. Oh my God. Erica Lee.
Yes.
She's a badass. Yeah, she's so good.
I love her. That would be fun.
I would never want to wrestle her because I feel like she would legit kick the shit out of me.
She would be fun to manage. She's someone who doesn't need a manager, but someone that I feel like the two of us together would just cause so much
Isn't she doing
chaos.
a whole thing where she's against the goons?
Oh yeah, frick the goons.
So what about you team up with her?
Girl power.
And you are and you help her with Dust because Dust left you at the altar.
Yeah.
There's your in to work with Erica Lee.
Seriously. Erica, if you're watching this,
I'm clipping this.
clipping this and posting it, girl.
You
Let me
get-
join Gummy Boar because Boar's another homie.
There it is. Let's make that happen.
I'll be the candy man, all right?
Is there any? We'll wrap it up here, Mary. But thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
truly had a
you.
blast. We're gonna make more content. We're gonna do beer reviews at shows.
Oh
Like
my gosh, please.
bring a beer or two to every show, and we'll we'll pull aside somewhere. We'll put the GoPro and we'll just try 2 beers. And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It'll be bonus content we'll make. It'll be we're in. I have music and everything for the beer reviews.
Okay.
I have custom beer music that
beer music.
So the intro music that you heard here,
Mm-hmm.
he made me one for the horror movie, he made me one for the pop culture, and he made me one for the beer content coming up. So I have all this intro music that I want to use. I just got to make the content to do it.
All right. Well, put me in, coach.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
We'll let some people in the chat have one more opportunity for some questions. Hunter has one here. He says, my trademark question, if you can write a letter to a younger Mary Elizabeth, what would it say?
I think it would say something about just go for it. Stop caring so much about what other people think. It's only going to hold you back from so much. Now I'm finally realizing that at 25 years old that I don't need to care about what other people think so much and let it dictate my life. I let it dictate so much of my life as a child, not necessarily a child, teenager, high school, even college. I would definitely say just do you and be genuinely you, and don't give a single heck about what other people think. I mean, within reason.
Yeah, don't do anything illegal.
Yeah, but just do you and you'll be happier, There
it is. Mary, thank you so much again. Anything that we didn't talk about that you want to plug or get out there, social medias, anything like that?
Just follow me, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at It's Mary Whatever. It's literally at It's Mary Whatever because I have so many iterations of Mary, which I'm going to point out that you said Mary Beth Elizabeth. You want to hear something? Fun fact? Mary Beth is short for Mary Elizabeth. So it's Mary Elizabeth or Mary Beth. You can either take it and go...
My grandmother's name was Elizabeth, and they called her Betty.
Betty.
That's
so cute.
Yeah, there's Betty right there.
There's Betty. There's sweet
old
Betty.
There's me and Betty smooching it right there.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yes.
So it's Mary whatever you want to call me because I've heard of Mary whatever.
It's the Queen.
It's Queen. It's Queen MB.
Queen Mary.
It's the Queen B MB. That
Queen MB.
The Queen B MB.
I love that. T-shirt. Drop it.
T-shirt.
And if you do go follow her on social media, just say heard you on the ABJ podcast. Show some love. Yeah. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Mary, like I said, we're gonna have so much more fun. We're gonna have fun, and at wrestling shows, I look forward to beer reviews. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, I look forward to it. It's gonna be so cool. Y'all better watch.
Subscribe to the channel, and beer reviews are coming soon. We'll let you guys go. We are back tomorrow with another episode. With who is tomorrow? I'm having a brain fart.
Yes.
Unfortunately, my guest Pete Corvus had to bail out. He had some work come up, so he had to bail out. But we got a great replacement. Ref Matt D is coming on the podcast tomorrow. So Matt D will be here, which is great, and we'll close out with a great video of Matt D that we're gonna talk about, and then we'll do the intro music. But we're out of here.
Let's go.